From the process of sharing your art into getting caught up in your ego to the importance of rest, today's guest covers a bunch of topics. I'm your host, Natasha Kay, and you're listening to Micromusings. In this podcast, we delve into the world of writing, exploring original works and uncovering the inspirations and stories behind the pieces. Our goal is to create a space where writing can inspire, comfort, and connect us all. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Now let's dive in. Pine Bluff, Arkansas native Christopher K.P. Brown is the founder of Picola Breedlove and the Freedom Party, a West Philadelphia-based open mic poetry event that created a platform for poets both local and national from 2014 to 2019. He is a graduate of Mercer University, where he majored in African American Studies with minors in creative writing and studio art. His newest poetry book and album is titled 84 Ultra. It includes the poems The Process and Rest is Reparations.
It's actually my favorite to perform these days. It was the hardest to memorize because it's no rhyme in it. For real, it's written a lot differently from a lot of stuff I have. But it's my favorite piece. All right, so this first piece is called The Process. A person stumbles into an open mic with a new poem they want to share. Person is super nervous and still searching for their unique voice. Person performs poem and enjoys the feeling of being on stage. Person performs a few more times and gets good feedback from the crowd. Host of struggling poetry event sees this person, asks them to do a feature set. Person is shocked. Person has never been paid to perform before. Person doesn't even consider themselves a poet yet. Person has no idea what a feature is but agrees without asking any questions. Person scrambles to figure out what poems to perform during set. Person sees their face on the flyer, sees the flyer online, clicks on the likes, imagines that these people will attend the feature set. Person imagines the crowd and even imagines how the crowd will respond. Person arrives to the venue, far too nervous to hear any of the other poems, never realized the butterflies in the stomach could be so loud. The host reads the person's bio. The crowd, they show love in advance. The person does a poem, then another poem, then some more poems. Finally, the set comes to an end. The person feels relieved to finally get over the nervousness that had been building up. They look up at the crowd for a few seconds. They take in this moment so they never forget this feeling, this high. In the few seconds between the last poem and reaching their seat, the ego slides into the room. The ego eases into the room, tells the person, yo, you done made it now. The person still hasn't found their unique voice. Person is no longer a person. Person is now a featured poet. The ego is the proof. The ego is proof. Featured poet stops signing open mic list. Ego is too big to be held by a list. Featured poets show up halfway through the event, but yo, give me a good spot. Featured poets say they so tired of y'all requesting that same old poem. Featured poet does the poem anyway, since y'all asked. Featured poet forgot how it feels to have a new poem they want to share. Featured poet now more concerned with impressing the crowd. Featured poet now more concerned with you capturing the right angle. Gotta get the follower count up to feel relevant out here. Featured poet begins to sound formulaic. The ego says it ain't the poem, it's the crowd. Featured poet blames the crowd. Featured poet gon' voluntarily run it back cause y'all missed that line. I said, featured poet gon' voluntarily run it back cause y'all missed that line. Featured poet be searching for the love they got that one time. The snaps and the claps and the likes and the follows and the recognition and the attention. It all creates a high, an addiction, a wave to ride, a peak to climb, a state of ecstasy within the mind. Featured poet takes that high all the way home, shares that high with the ego, shares that high with the ego, because can't nobody feel it the way I feel it, you know? And I want to feel that high as often as possible, to the point that it's only about that high. Featured poet can't seem to hit that high the way they used to. Featured poet enjoys poetry, but ain't in love with it no more. The ego tells the poet to be bitter towards the scene instead of looking inward. Featured poet Stop performing. Feature poet can't find that person they used to be. Poetry community asks on a regular basis, yo, what happened to that person? They mention nothing of the featured poet. Poetry community misses the person. Featured poet found the new passion. Don't really do the poetry thing no more. Meanwhile, a person stumbles into an open mic with a new poem they want to share. That's it, the process. This is a poem I haven't performed much yet. It's also on the album and the book and in the book. Um, it was a title "Waiting to Exhale," an original album we put out. Um, but I went back to the original title that I like, which is "Rest as Reparations." So this poem is titled "Rest as Reparations," and I'll read it. For the ancestors who were forced to sacrifice their bodies, slow it down for a second. Check in for a second. Stop right here for a second. Just breathe. Just breathe for a second. Find yourself completely in this space, right here, right now, completely present, present and complete, right here. Be completely here in this moment. Bombarded by text messages, emails, and notifications, the constant dinging of devices, bombarded by robocalls, bombarded by the public's opinions on politics and pop culture because a celebrity tweeted what, because somebody famous said what. The invisible contracts we sign when following along with the norms of this society, like habits that hurt the pancreas, like habits that taint the lungs, like scrolling through timelines past bedtime. Who taught you to check Facebook every day? Who taught you to post to Instagram every day? Who taught you that you always have to state your opinion? Who taught you to check that inbox every 5 minutes? The invisible contracts we sign, the work it takes to remain an informed citizen in this society while maintaining a full time job, plus a part time job, plus a side hustle. You work to pay the bills while staying aware, staying hip, and taking care of your family, all while always feeling like you're falling short. The constant pressure of keeping up with the Joneses, keeping up with the Kardashians, keeping up with a society that has no chill. For the ancestors who were forced to sacrifice their bodies, for the ancestors who were forced to utilize their minds in the name of New World wealth, for the ancestors. Slow it down for a second. Check in for a second. Stop right here for a second. Breathe for a second. Descendants, descendants of the overworked should never be labeled lazy. My people deserve to breathe deeply. We built the universities and put the seeds in the ground. We grew the crops that produced the cash that stabilized the country. I owe it to my family to stop and honor this body, to stop and center this mind. My ancestors forced to work sun up to sundown. I owe it to them, so I slow myself enough to hear their voices telling me to rest your body, rest your mind, so you can better enjoy this life. For these bodies deserve their own reparations, a type of reparations that the president can't give us. For the descendants of the enslaved, rest is an act of reparations. So slow it down for a second, check in for a second, stop right here for a second, breathe for a second, inhale, exhale. Rest is reparations. It's that piece.
Thank you for listening to Micromusings. I'm so glad you could join me and KP Ultra today. You can keep up with him on Instagram at KP84Ultra or TikTok at KP Ultra. You can also visit his website, 84ultra.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to share it with others who might appreciate it. And if you enjoy the podcast overall, I'd be grateful if you could leave a 5-star rating. Don't forget to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast so you never miss an episode, and to the Substack for additional exclusive content. Your support means the world to me. With love always. Until next time, I'm Natasha.